that she does not respect. She can't force herself to. She can't will herself to. She can't do it because of she's married to him and that's the right thing to do. She cannot love a man that she cannot respect. It's actually biblical. For those of y'all who believe in the Bible, even if you don't, you got to admit this plays out true. But the Bible even says, husbands, love your wives. Wives, respect your husbands. And now the reason why it says that is because of the whole basis of the Bible is love, right? But in order for a woman to truly even love her husband, it has to go through the vessel of respect. She has to respect him and he has to be respectable. And I was just telling my Self Crown VIP member this. That's actually a brother. Now, I'm not saying that my Self Crown VIP mentorship community, by the way, that's my private app where I answer questions. That's where all this content comes from. It's not just for women. In fact, it is for everybody. But whenever a man comes in there, I know he's in trouble. And this dude asked me the question like, D, help me out. I've been in a relationship X amount of years, but she's not listening. She's not submitting. You know, it's so much turmoil, it's so much tension. I don't know why. I just feel like she ain't doing what she's supposed to be doing. Now, the long story short of that is, and I got to this point where I said, hey, man, it's not that she's not submitting. It's not that she's not listening or she can't listen. She don't know how to whatever operate in a relationship. It's that she doesn't respect you. She just doesn't respect you. And a woman cannot. Y'all tell me if what I'm saying is facts. Put I down in the chat if I'm speaking to you when I say a woman cannot love a man in action form. She can have love for him, but she cannot love in action form a man that she doesn't respect. And now let me be very clear. This doesn't mean that the man is a bad guy. This doesn't mean that he's not being respectable. Let me show some love to my brothers because there are some of y'all who are dealing with women who don't have the value system to respect you. You know, they only respect men who trick off on them. They only respect men who disrespect. They only respect men who are out here, you know, criminal activity and in the streets and this, that, and the other. And you over here being an upstanding committed citizen, you are square in their eyes or whatever. You stay out of trouble. You handle your business. So there's sometimes you may run across a woman who simply does not have the same value system as you. And that's why she cannot respect you. Therefore, you need to get away from her. But too many times we actually shoot ourselves in the foot. And if we want to be real, we're the cause of a lot of times our woman not being able to love us. Like the first reason why a woman is not going to respect you and therefore cannot love you is because you don't keep your own commitments. The same commitments nobody forced you to make, by the way. And I'm not talking about you fell short. I'm not talking about you messed up before. We all fall short. Ain't nobody been perfect since Jesus, at least sinless. But when it comes to you consistently making commitments you cannot keep or you choose not to keep, it says that you're not really living in your truth. And how a woman gonna follow the lead of a man who ain't even following the lead of himself? You don't honor or respect your commitments, she can't respect you. And it's going to come through in how she talks to you. It's going to come through in the amount of doubt that she has whenever you say you want to do X, Y, and Z, and she don't want to be a part of that. She don't want to support that. She cannot show up for you in action form that resonates as love if she does not respect you or respect what you want. That's just what it is. Another way that you can make sure a woman does not respect you and therefore cannot love you is if you're unhinged emotionally. We were not made to mirror women. We were made to complement women. That's not to say you can't lose control of your emotions. That's not to say you need to be out here suppressing or anything like that. But I know a lot of dudes who think they so big and bad because they pop off and they ready to turn up or whatever. No, you ain't ready to turn up. You're not tough. You just have no control over your emotions. And then on the other extreme, you have guys who want to cry all over the place talking about they need a safe space all the time. Nothing's wrong with needing a safe space at some point. But if you can't function without a safe space, bro, that's not being woke. That's being weak. That's being underdeveloped. Again, I'm not talking about suppressing and ignoring your emotions and all this toxic masculinity stuff. But what if we only could depend on men who felt emotionally safe or safe at all to go to war for us? There are certain times in your life you're going to have to do stuff where you're not going to want to do it, where emotionally there's going to be no safety. That's just a part of how we were designed as men. So if your woman sees that for everything that happens in your life that doesn't go your way, you over here crying the river, granted, you may need some healing or something like that, but if the generality of you is emotionally unhinged, you ready to pop off, you ready to yell, you ready to shout to get your way, you ready to cry, she's going to have a hard time respecting you. She may fear you, but she's not going to respect you. Another way that you can make sure a woman does not respect you is if you have no respect for others. If you have no respect for the janitor, the same way that you have respect for the CEO of a company, if you don't have any respect for the waitress, if you over here condescending, some of y'all think it make you look so big and bad whenever you talk down on other people. It makes you look weak. You be sitting there talking to a woman about some dude who ain't got the same money as you, the same car as you, or you sit there and you get a snappy attitude with the waitress or somebody who's helping you out, like they owe you something or like they your slave or something like that, and you thinking it makes you look cool, you thinking it makes you look like you in this powerful position. But to a respectable woman, to a good, genuine woman, all it's doing is making her respect for you plummet. Put I down in the chat, ladies, if that's one of the things that will literally repulse you from a man no matter how he looks, disgust you in a man no matter how he looks or how much money that he got. Put I down in the chat if one is speaking his facts. Because I don't like to talk on behalf of women without y'all cosign, because maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Another way that you can make sure a woman does not respect you is if her respect for you in the past has cost her something that's too important to keep losing. It may not be necessarily you're not living your truth, et cetera, but if for whatever reason, if she's respected you enough to trust your plan for her life, if she's respected you enough to do whatever, to give you her body, if she's respected you enough to love you and believe in you and start a new life with you, and you've made her pay the price of losing herself for that, she's not going to continue to respect you. That's just simple old Pavlov experiment. That's just simple old, you created an association. You've negatively reinforced the disrespect, if you will. That's the guard she's putting up to keep herself safe, since you obviously couldn't. When we call ourselves protectors and providers, we forget that's more than just the physical, right? That's the emotional and the mental. And one way that you can protect your woman mentally is to make sure she doesn't have to keep suffering from the paranoia, from the doubt, from the self-esteem issues, from the haunting thoughts, from the questions that don't really get answered, from doubting her own reality, from being gaslit over and over again. So if you're not protecting her from that, she may put up a guard, and that guard may be the disrespect that she shows you to make sure you can't get close to her again, because she knows that the way for her to love you is through the vessel of her respect for you. And one more way that you can make sure a woman does not respect you and therefore cannot love you, and I know some people gonna get mad at me for this, but it is what it is, and that's if you don't take care of your children. But let me put an asterisk by that. If you don't make a valid effort to take care of your children, because I know some of y'all out there, some of you dudes out there, you calling your children, you trying to show up for them, you trying to be there for them, and of course you got a woman that's just not letting you. That is a reality. I don't care who don't like it, that's just what it is. But too many times we have guys who opt for the excuse of my baby mama bitter, my baby mama this, my baby mama that. First off, if you even disrespecting the mother of your child on a regular basis without due cause, you're not telling the truth, you're not describing what's going on, but you're just sitting there insulting her. That's one way that a woman's going to lose respect for you, especially if she has kids, and especially if she has respect for mothers in general. But if you got all of these different J's and you got all of this nice stuff, but your kids can't get new clothes for school because your children's mom won't let you control her new love life, because she won't let you have the whereabouts because she ain't sleeping with you no more, the woman that you with right now is not going to be able to respect that. Again, if she's respectable. And let me also say this kind of a side note, but for some of y'all done checked out of your relationship and you don't know why as a woman, because you have a high level of regard for the commitment that you signed up for. But even though you're there, you're not mentally and emotionally there. You're checked out. And the reason why is because you've lost respect for the man that you're with. This ain't just for men. A lot of y'all have lost respect for the man that you're with, and you can't show up. Your body shuts down. You can't get horny for him. You done started making excuses to avoid physical contact, sexual contact with him. You may do some things, but it feels like it's coerced, like it's forced, like you just gotta do it. Your central nervous system all dysregulated because you know you're not living in your own authentic truth, being with this man who doesn't pull out the best in you because you don't respect him. And now, I'm all about restoration. If y'all can have that conversation, y'all can get to that third party, by all means do it. But the best way to avoid this situation is to only deal with men who are respectable. You have to be able to check that box before you even go into a situation. Is he living a life that's in line with his truth? Is he holding all his commitments to the best of his ability? Like you see a valid effort of consistency. Is he taking care of his kids if he has any, since they depend 100% on him? in some capacity depend on him. Does he respect others? You have to be able to check these boxes that man has evolved past all his childish ways, because sometimes you'll come across a guy who's good, but he's still not respectable. He hasn't evolved into the version of himself that is respectable. He don't even respect himself. Whether he doesn't respect his own word, whether he doesn't respect his legacy, whether he doesn't respect those that he makes commitments to, he doesn't respect himself. And so there's boxes that you as a woman even have to check if you're the type of woman that cannot love, and you know that you cannot love a man who does not show up respectably in certain aspects of life. You have to only deal with evolved men. And if you feel like you're not dealing with evolved men because you're not running into these guys, or you don't know one whenever you see one, you feel like your picker is wrong, you've gotten it wrong when you thought you were dealing with an evolved man, I did an hour-long free masterclass where I described how to attract and how to make evolved men crave you. If you haven't gotten access to that yet, click the link that you see pinned right here down in the comments. Get access to that. I dropped gems for over an hour on exactly how you can attract evolved men, multiple, so you can choose the right one for you. Strategies that have already worked for thousands of women so far, and that's coming out soon. Again, that's at the link down here in the comments. It's also in the caption whenever you back out. But moral of the story is this, and some of y'all may disagree, but I stand on this. If you don't have that woman's respect, it's only so long you're gonna have that woman's love in action form. She may have love for you. She may love you from a distance, but she will not love you in action form if she cannot respect you as a man. But those are just my thoughts. I'm just your internet brother trying to look out. Y'all let me know what you think down in the comments. Share this if you got anything from it. For somebody else you can bless with this message. If you got anything from this, share it for somebody else on your timeline. Bless them too. And if you have not yet gotten access to the free masterclass, Secrets to Making Evolved Men Crave You, do yourself a favor, click that link, go ahead, head on over there, register now while it's still up and get access to the masterclass. You'll be glad you did. I'll let y'all be good.